So today I have with me the wonderful Jamie Duggan. She is a wellbeing holistic coach. Jamie, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, where in the world are you? Let's talk about that.
I am in sunny San Diego, California.
Lovely. And far warmer than I am right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, most likely.
Perfect. And so let's just talk a bit about, so what is it that you do from a holistic coaching wellbeing point of view?
Yeah. So I do holistic wellness coaching. So what that means is I help people improve their health and wellness from all aspects of, from all aspects of the body. So fitness, nutrition, stress management, all the different areas of health and wellness. I take them all and I help you create healthy habits so that you can live healthy lifestyles. So no diets, no specific exercise programs, but really making things work for you according to what your goals are.
Wonderful. And I love the fact that it's specific to each person, because too often you have that one size fits all approach and it doesn't quite do it. So it doesn't fit your lifestyle either, right?
Absolutely. I actually say that all the time. This is not a one size fits all situation because nobody is one size fits all.
Absolutely not. And what brought you into this line of work? Like why did you decide to do this?
I was in the fitness industry for years and years. And for about probably like 8 or 9 years before I went full headfirst into like the wellness. And really what it was that I was helping people get healthy or get their routines, their fitness routines, learning how to work out, how to be comfortable in the gym and getting their exercise. And I realized that I was underserving my clients because I was giving them a false sense of improving their health by getting them into the gym once or twice a week. And I wanted to be able to actually impact their life outside of the gym, because it's not just what happens. It's not just about the exercise. It's the whole being, right? It's what you're putting into your body, how you're managing your stress, what the quality of your sleep is, and so forth, that actually makes up the healthy person. So I wanted to be able to impact them in a greater way. And so that's what really got me into it initially.
Brilliant. And I know in one of your recent social media posts, I think you talked about choosing to be healthy.
Yeah.
I really thought that choice of word was important, but you tell me why you sort of put it in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that so many people think of healthy habits, healthy living as a chore. I mean, just think about the language we use. I have to work out. I have to go to bed early. Oh, I can't eat that. And it's all about restriction and about making it's a chore. And it's like, it's something that I have to do. And I think about, even taking it back to like my kids. If I tell them they have to do something, there's resistance. There's pushback. It's like, no, I don't have to. But if you make it their idea, then they're more enticed to do it. They're more likely to follow through. And I think that it's just the same as an adult. When you move from it being a chore, from it being something that you have to do, because the truth is, nobody has to do any of it. You don't have to work out. You don't have to watch what you eat. You don't have to go to bed. Everything is a choice. So when you own it as a choice, when you own it as like, I'm choosing to prioritize my health, I'm choosing to take care of myself, I'm choosing to exercise, it becomes it's a positive reinforcement in your mind. It makes it a positive, not a negative. And we know that when we have positive moments, when there's positive emotions attached to actions, we're more likely to do them again. So why not make it a choice? Because then you're going to actually want to follow through. You're creating that win right from the very beginning.
Love that. Absolutely. Now, I know this. So I used to be very, very fit. I got ill and actually at one point I consciously chose to not focus on health because there was so much going on. I went, just focus on work. And I think lots of people do that. Now I know mine was a conscious choice, and it's one that with hindsight I should have not made, but that's okay. Hindsight is
Yep.
2020. But
Always.
with people, I know, right? If only we had it in advance. Oh wait, it doesn't work that way. So with people who come to you who are struggling in that kind of way, how do you ease them into choosing the right thing? Because like you say, you don't want to tell them, you don't want to say you must do this. But even though these things are a choice, there are consequences if we don't eat well, if we don't sleep enough, if we don't exercise. But sometimes when you're in the thick of work, when life is crazy, when you've got other stuff going on, making healthy choices is the last thing on your mind. So how do you approach that challenge?
I tell everybody to kind of start with the end in mind. So one of the very first exercises that I have all my clients do is to journal about their ideal future self. Who is that person? What do you look like? How do you feel? How are your relationships? Like all the things. Who do you want to be? And from there, then we start to identify the things that we need to start doing in order to become that person. And ultimately, it really all starts with like having a deep, unconditional love of yourself. Like, maybe you don't feel like doing this, but you really love yourself and you know that that's where you want to be. So let's start there. Like rather than forcing the issue, because we all become our habits. We all become 6 months from now. You're nothing more than a product of what you've done today, tomorrow, next day, yesterday, the day before. So let's start engineering. Let's reverse engineer who that person is and take it from there.
Brilliant. And of course, that can apply to so many things. I do sports performance hypnotherapy sometimes, and we always start with the end in mind. And it's usually a medal, right? It's usually a medal or a trophy or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's all still habits. It is all still habits. So it's a very simple process that I think can be applied to everything. But it's probably so powerful when applied in the context of health, because we do want to live well. But we can't do that without making these choices.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, fitness has been part of your life sort of forever, but what is it that drives you to keep you working with that holistic approach? Is it, what do you get out of it?
What do I get out of helping my clients or out of living that personally?
Oh, but let's go with both. So answer one then the other one.
Okay. So, well, I'll answer personally first. So personally, for me, the importance of doing the holistic health approach is really that, we work synergistically. It's not, one is not separate from the other. I don't have great sleep. I don't have, a great fitness program with poor sleep or great sleep with poor nutrition. Like they all have to work together to be the best version of myself. So I don't want to be skinny and miserable. I don't want to be, so fit and exhausted. Like I want to feel good as a whole. I want to feel strong. I want to feel energized. I want to feel focused and present. And so for me, it's so important to incorporate all the areas, because once you are working in all of them, they all just beautifully marry, and like it's next level living, because your confidence goes up as you're exercising, as your like fitness levels improve, and your fitness levels improve as your sleep improves, and your nutrition improves as your sleep improves, and so on and so forth. And they just kind of all go that way. And the same goes, honestly, for my clients, because we don't want to just be kicking ass at one area of our life. We want to be like amazing human beings that feel good, look good, are being able to show up for life in the most complete sense of ourselves without like missing holes. I live, one of my like values personally is that there are no secrets. Like there's no holds. You can ask me anything and I'm happy to share it. And I live in a way that allows that to really happen. And I think that when you approach health and wellness in the same way, there's no holes. It's not like, well, I exercise really well and I eat really well, but I binge drink on the weekends. It's like there's no, or, I manage my stress really well, but I stay up too late binge watching TV. Like it just, there's no, I like to live with no holes.
I love that analogy. Now, for many people though, and again, I know this as being one who was one myself, the thought of getting all those things in balance seems like an impossible task. And even though in my head, I could see this future where I am a lean, mean fighting machine type thing, but I will go to bed at 2 a.m. because I'm working on something and then get up at 7 and then I'm sleep deprived all day. And I think in the modern world, there are so many distractions that kind of taking you from the path, filling you with holes, if you like.
Yeah.
So how do you approach people who come to you and go, look, it's great, I love the principle, but I just don't see how it can work for me? Like how do you get them over that hump, even with the visioning at the end?
I mean, like you said, it does come down to choice. Like you have to want it. You have to want better. And then to not overwhelm yourself. Like, okay, so I did not come to this place where all my wheels are turning and everything is working wonderfully. And it still doesn't work wonderfully 100% of the time, right? Like I'm human. I still have days where I'm off and things aren't great. But I personally believe in living in the gray area. So meaning that everything doesn't have to be perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. There is no such thing as eating perfect, sleeping perfect, exercising perfect all the time. So, instead take a more flexible approach, a more gray area approach. Maybe your workouts are, shorter for a period of time because you're in a really hectic time. And maybe your food is healthy, but still or I should say quick, but still healthy. Like maybe you're eating more, prepared foods, but they're still healthy. They're not processed foods, but they're prepared. Learning to take things and make them work for you for that season of life without just going, never mind, doesn't matter. I think the only thing that really doesn't work for is sleep. Everything else you can kind of fake, you can kind of skate by, fake, but you can simplify. Sleep is not one of those. I've yet to come up with a shortcut to less sleep, but I also love sleep, so I'm not one to ever skimp on it.
That's the healthy thing to do. Do you know what? There's so few people in the world who can get by on less than sort of 7-8 hours sleep. It's like less than 0.0001%. It's that small.
Exactly.
And so absolutely. And with so many people, when they come to me and they're like, I'm overwhelmed. It's like, how are you sleeping? That's the first question. And you're right. You get the good sleep in, you get it regularly. You can do anything, but you have to give yourself permission to get enough sleep and make space for it. And I think people go, oh, I've got so much work to do. And of course, the less sleep you get, the less good you are at focusing. It's so related.
Sure. It's a vicious cycle.
It is. So I'm totally on my soapbox about everyone get enough sleep, myself included, but everyone get enough sleep.
Yes. Because, and I was asked that. I remember being on a plane one time and striking up a conversation with this gentleman next to me. And he was like, all right, I love what you do, but if I could only do one thing, what would it be? And I was like, it's your sleep, because
Mm,
Nothing works if your sleep isn't there. I could for sure go off on a whole.
yeah.
That's a topic
Vote
for
to
another
sleep.
day.
It is, yeah.
Yes,
I was going to do our whole podcast just on sleep next. That's my idea.
exactly. Yes, fantastic. I love it.
So, so in your life, what challenges have you had to get to where you are now? I'm sure it hasn't been, as you say, it's not all rosy. Nothing is perfect. So, what sort of has your journey been like getting to where you are now?
Um, like, can you be more specific? What area of my life?
So, I get where you've always been in fitness, haven't you?
For about 11 years.
For 11 years, okay. So,
Yes.
what were you doing before fitness?
Before fitness, I was doing a million different things.
So, so why did you choose fitness as your focus? How did you land on that?
Okay, that's a good one. So, do you care if I tell a quick story?
No, please do.
Really
Absolutely love
quick.
a story.
So, growing up, I did not like I was not in sports. I did not like exercise. I thought it was torture. I joined gymnastics as a kid. I was probably like, I don't know, we'll say like 9. I probably joined gymnastics, and my sister joined at the same time. And they said, it was like the first time they wanted us to do the splits. I went home and I said, Mom, I'm out. Don't make me do this. I cannot do this. I'm not going to do it. And that continued. So I did not like exercise at all. I thought it was punishment. It was painful. I thought I was dying. Like in high school, I got out of PE by getting my doctor to say that I had exercise-induced asthma that I probably did not have. I just was very deconditioned, but I despised it. And so I didn't like exercise. And then as I got a little bit older and started to realize like, oh, if I exercise, I burn more calories. Okay. Super unhealthy mindset, but it was like, oh, I can make this work for me. And I allowed fitness. So when I started to outgrow the I hate exercise to, okay, I hate it, but I'll do it. So I went from I hate it and you can't make me do it to, okay, fine, I'll do it, but only because I have to. That stuck with me for years. So I got into fitness when my first son was born. And I had exercised here and there, but it was mostly to either pay for my partying, if we're being totally honest, to like, not gain 100 pounds.
It's the truth. We've all done it.
That was primarily it. Like I exercised for that. And then when my son was born, I thought, well, I don't want to get that mom bod. I don't want to gain weight. I don't want to lose all shape in my body. And that's how I got into fitness initially. That's when I started personal training. I thought it'd be fantastic to have a job where I actually had to be held accountable, because I knew that I would not be accountable if I didn't have a reason to be fit, because I knew that deep down, that's not my passion. It was not my thing. And so to this day, I love exercise now only because I know what it does for me, and not for the calories burned, not for partying. Those have evolved. But that's how I got into it. I didn't want to gain weight.
But even, firstly, I love your honesty, and I think we need more of that in the world, because how many times have I gone, well, if I do this 2-mile hike or whatever it is, I can then go home and eat the donuts. I mean, we all do that maths. So it's totally the truth. So how did you then evolve, though, from the calories in, calories out to holistic? And was it just, becoming a mum can be that shift of that awareness of, living differently, or was there another trigger?
No. So that that philosophy stuck with me for a while. So I got into fitness for the aesthetic, for sure. And I stayed, I'm going to say that it's embarrassing how long that stuck with me, but it was really, I mean, I started to evolve a little bit as I went through it because, you know, it was a number of years that I was exercising and teaching people how to exercise and all of that, or helping them. But it was really during COVID when I had been into eating healthy, but it was, again, it was still, I lived by that scale. I was like, you know, calories in, calories out. How do I do this? How do I not? And it was during COVID when my pants stopped fitting. And I was like, huh, that's not good. I think there's something wrong with my hormones. And I went to my doctor and they're like, there's nothing wrong with your hormones. Your hormones are fine. And I was faced with, okay, clearly, like, something is not working. And what it was like, I was exercising, but I was exercising with a check, done.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't so much, I had gotten really lazy about my nutrition. And when I say really lazy, like, my lazy is really not that lazy in comparison to the majority of people, but I was lazy for myself, right? And I was drinking too much. And up until that point, I had obsessed over the scale. Like, if the scale said a number that I liked, there was a little bit more freedom to have an extra glass of wine or eat a little bit more. And then if the scale was higher, then it was punishment, and it was more exercise, more cardio, less eating. I'm going to fast. I'm going to do this. And that wasn't working for me anymore. I realized that, you know what? Like, I kill myself. Like, literally, I allow myself to be dictated by this stupid number. What would happen if instead I just focused on, like, making healthy eating a thing, like, day in, day out, like, really, truly nutritious food 90% of the time? What would happen if I just exercised to love myself instead of for, you know, hitting a certain calorie number? What would happen if I cut back on drinking? What would happen if I did this? And instead of allowing my exercise and my nutrition to be dictated based on what the scale said, what if I just committed to doing these things? And I did. And it's been, you know, 4.5 years, and I don't weigh myself. I feel amazing. I'm healthier than I've ever been. And, like, you know, so I don't know if that answers the question or not, but that's how I got into it. It was like, I'm just tired of chasing this short-term goals. I'm tired of chasing the proverbial 5 pounds, the 10 pounds, that I'm going to fit into that outfit. I'm going to do this. And I was just like, this is not working. I'm miserable. I'm not making progress. And I'm so short-sighted that I'm allowing it to dictate my life. And when I decided to stop being short-sighted and just to know, like, okay, today's workout, you know, because I would beat myself up. I would be like, ugh, you did a terrible workout. That was horrible. Like, whatever, you know, didn't count. And I just committed to, it doesn't matter. Today's workout may be totally lame, but tomorrow's going to be awesome. And maybe I ate the ice cream and the bread and the whatever, or, you know, and life is short. So you should still enjoy those things. But know that, like, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, you're doing the things that actually make you feel good. And the other thing that really changed for me is that I really started to pay attention to the effects of how I felt when I ate certain food, like eating, drinking. I actually, I'm in the middle of a year of no alcohol just because I was like, you know what? I don't really need it. What's it going to be like if I don't do it? And so really attaching to what my long-term goal was allowed me to bring everything into synchronization in my like day-to-day life. And it just got so much easier because I was no longer like seeking out that instant gratification or whatever.
No, I think that's an amazing story. Thank you for sharing. And you touched on something that I think people know but don't acknowledge, which is we are driven by those scales and we make choices based on those scales. And although it's not always extreme into eating disorders, it is a kind of, I don't know, behavioral issue that we have. A lot, mostly women, but not just women, you know, men suffer from it as well. And going back to I think you mentioned at the very start about the holistic side of making the right behaviors and choices and changes. And I think it is an incremental thing. And that's why, as you say, you kind of went from calories in, calories out, punish myself to slowly you made these changes until it kind of all fitted. And I think that's really important because it's now a behavior for you. It's a habit for you. You don't, I guess you don't think about it. And I think where people struggle is because it's not the habit that they have. And so they're fighting with that bad habit, even though we don't think to call it that necessarily.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
One thing I found, so about, I don't know, pre-pandemic, it all blurs now with the pandemic in the middle.
Totally.
So what is time? I decided to stop drinking sodas, just fizzy drinks. And I did it while I was on holiday with a friend. And on that week, it was fine because she was like, nope, you're not having that. Nope, you're not having that. For the next 6 months, every time I didn't choose a soda, I thought I was missing out. Like I had this internal struggle because it was such a habit for me. And that's made me really appreciate these habits that we form and how powerful they are. But also, sometimes when you're aligned like you were, it gets easier and easier. And I think these changes start small and they kind of get bigger and they aggregate and, what's the word? They grow into a big change, but they start small. And I guess that's what you did is you started small and then went, okay, I've done that. Here's the next thing. And at some point it stops being so difficult, I guess.
Absolutely. That is, you said it perfectly. Like it, there's this saying like, small hinges swing big doors. Like you don't go full bore into like, say, like if I was to lay out what I do every single day to somebody who's starting out, they would be like, there's no way, like that's too much. And it's something that people will tell me, oh, you're so disciplined, you're so good, you're this, that, or the other. And I'm like, I don't know, am I? Like, it's just who I am. I'm not consciously making that choice. And it's so like similar to you giving up soda. Like when I decided, okay, I'm going to not have alcohol. At first, it was like a conscious decision every time. And it'd be like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm not drinking, blah, blah, blah. And now I went to Vegas this weekend and it's no big deal. And they're like, what are you drinking? I'm like, I'll just have a soda water with lime. Thanks. And I don't feel like I'm missing out because I know how I feel. But it goes back to that choice, right? Nobody's telling me that I can't do that. I make the rules. It's my life. I make the rules. But I chose, and I actually like the way that I feel because I chose to try it out. Yeah. Because I chose to explore it, and now I enjoy it. And so it doesn't feel restrictive anymore. It doesn't feel like I'm giving anything up because I know that I feel great when I wake up the next morning. I told my husband because he went out and he partied on Saturday night with his friends, and Sunday morning he was really feeling rough. And I was like, I'm glad you had fun, but I love waking up in Vegas not hungover. Like, that's amazing. But it's not for everybody, right? There's no judgment. Yeah. It's not like, oh, you shouldn't do that. And there was a time in my life where I would have loved to do that. And I'd just be like, well, that's just the price to pay to wake up in Vegas.
Your poor husband is probably looking at you that morning going, oh, man, If
Yeah,
you were
he
hungover too, it'd be
was.
easier. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, he needed me to take care of him that day.
Oh, we've all been there.
Totally.
So, so what's your vision for you next? You know, have you got like a target of people you want to reach? Is there another path you want to go? How do you see yourself growing, and how do you see your business growing, I guess?
Yeah. So, that's kind of the ever evolving question of like who do you want to serve? Because when I started, it was like, I want to serve everybody. I want to help
Absolutely.
everyone. I can help the young and the older and the male and the female and and while I love that, it doesn't work that great in business. And so really my passion is in helping like professional women who, like you said you were at one point, like don't think they have the time,
Mm,
or who are tired of dieting and exercising and trying to lose the last weight. I want to help people who want to just be, like I've always said this when I was personal training primarily, like I'm not your girl for bodybuilding. Like that's just not who I am. I'm your girl if you want to be strong and like functionally healthy and just want to like maintain, no, I don't want to say status quo, but like you want to just be fit, but not like you don't want to dedicate your life to it.
hmm
Those are kind of my people. I want to help those that just want to live healthier lives without the crazy restriction. I can help them, when they come to me and they're like, I need to lose weight, I want to lose fat, I want to put on muscle. Like we can do all of those things, but I think there's such a gap between where I see so many people, which is like just tired and overweight and not feeling good, and then the other extreme. And I think that people think it has to be one or the other,
hmm
and they're missing out on so much health and energy and vitality in life because they think it has to be one or the other. And so I want to help those that just want to improve their health in a way that makes sense for them, that they're able to sustain for the long term. That is my big thing, is like I want to help you embody your healthiest self. And so what does that look like? I don't know, because maybe you're already pretty healthy and you want to take it up a notch. That's amazing. We can do that. But maybe you're just getting started and you just want to feel a little bit better and have some better tools in your back pocket so that you don't feel like you go on vacation and you get derailed, or you go through a busy season in life and you get derailed. How do we
hmm
just kind of keep things smoothly moving along so that you're healthy and improving your health all the time? And then when life allows and you have more time, great, let's refine it. Let's make it a little bit better. But when life throws you all these curveballs and things happen, you're not totally derailed from your progress.
hmm
So moving forward, I just launched a book the end of July and
Amazing.
called Drama Free Health.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Uh,
And so that is, the book is really, it teaches my philosophy on like how do we become our healthiest selves, authentic to our goals? How do we silence the noise around the you should do this, you should do that, and make it actually a choice and make it a lifestyle? Um, so really, just spreading that message. And right now I'm loving the coaching and moving more into speaking spaces where I can help more people, because there is so much noise in the health and wellness
mm,
industry. There's so much noise and there's so much do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. And I want to help bring a little bit of clarity so that at the very least people understand, okay, well, I don't have to listen to everything because that doesn't align with me. That doesn't work for me. I think that something that keeps a lot of people from success in their achieving their goals is that they try to listen to everybody and they try to make everything work for them, when everything
mm.
doesn't work for everybody. Goes right back to that one size does not fit all.
Absolutely. And I know this for myself. Like if I go onto Instagram, which is a dangerous place to go,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm having a rough day with the business and I'm scrolling through and someone's like, this is the answer to all your problems. And then I keep scrolling through and someone else is like, this is the answer to all your problems. And I think, you have that so much in the health and well-being space, because one size doesn't fit all. But also, I guess, like I said, there's different philosophies around how you do it. But what I love about yours is it is holistic. It starts with the basic. It starts with sleep, and that, as we both agree, that's
Yeah.
the most important thing anyone can do for their life.
Yeah.
And it's very non-judgmental as well, isn't it? It's not about hitting those scales. It's not about where you have been. It's just, where do you want to go? And I think we can all do with that reminder going, it doesn't matter where you've been.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to go? That's the thing that matters, because you can't change the past, but you can
Yeah.
change the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is there anyone who really inspires you, either from a sort of a wellness point of view or just sort of in life, that you think, gosh, they look like they've got it sorted? Does anyone, or even your own family?
That's a great question. You know, it's going to sound so bad. Nobody in particular comes to mind.
That's all right.
I think like meeting you and connecting with you. And since I stepped into the space of like really owning the holistic wellness and coaching and all of that, I have met, I can't pick, I guess that's the answer, is that there's not one, there's many. Like since I leaned in, we'll call it intuition or like my passion, and really like getting out of my own way and using my voice and my message and reaching out to people, I have been so inspired by so many people like that are just doing amazing, incredible things. So those who are really, stepping up, not settling in life, not settling for the job that they don't love or doing something that they're not passionate about, but those who want to spread more goodness in the world, who want to help others rise, who want to link arms and like, let's just do this together. I'm inspired by all of them, and you
That's
included.
amazing.
Like, it's no, truly, I love what you're doing with this podcast. I mean, when people talk about all the negative things that happen on social media or in the world, I honestly am kind of taken aback sometimes, because I'm like, really? Like, your circle must suck, because I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who are like happy and positive and real and like doing things and not leaning, like I was watching, my husband and I are watching Billions right now, which I don't know if you've ever watched it, but it's a great series. And the other day, one of the characters asked like the boss, the main character, and he's like, well, what's my future look like? And he's like, that is the wrong question. Never ask another man what your future looks like. You go out and you define your future. And I was like, yes, I love that. I love when people like own it, whether it be in business or in health, like take ownership. And so I'm inspired by all those who don't want to settle, don't want to ask for permission, don't want to, aren't looking to others to make their life better, but are like truly wanting to contribute. How can I make it better for you? I love that.
That's amazing. And do you know what? I think I'm like you on my social media, but I think it's partly it's I'm surrounded by entrepreneurs, and they have a very go-getting mindset, right? So you're like, how do we solve this problem? And I also have like loads of cute animal photos as well on my social media.
There you go.
Entrepreneurs and their cute animals. It's good. I'm all happy. But you're right. I mean, I think you become what you surround yourself with as well.
Absolutely.
But like with your approach, you've got to start with one thing. And doesn't matter what it is, start with good sleep and everything will get easier. And that social media algorithm will pick up in no time, I'm sure.
Don't scroll at 3 a.m. Rule number one.
So if people want to find you or get your book, how can they find you?
So you can find me on social on Facebook and Instagram at Jamie Duggan. And then my website has my book, and that's empoweredhealthstudios.com.
Perfect. And I'll put it all in the show notes as well. So that's brilliant.
Thank you.
Wonderful. It's been wonderful having you on. Thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to seeing you keep doing your wonderful work.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was so fun.
Thank you.